back with another Bond review, and today we're going to talk about Spectre. And my first thoughts on Spectre, I do like the film. I will say Skyfall is a much better Bond film. And you have the same director, Sam Mendes, who directed Skyfall, also directed this film. And I don't know what happened that, this film became such a step down from Skyfall. And again, this is me without looking at information on Wikipedia and IMDb, what have you. I'm just sort of, thinking out loud, spitballing. Maybe Sam Mendes was pressured, to make another Skyfall type of Bond film again that, this film fell short of expectations. I don't know. I will say that I prefer Spectre a little bit more than Quantum of Solace. I mean, Quantum of Solace has some moments, like I said, although the action is very heavily cut and sporadic, a lot of shaky cam in that film. But there's moments in Spectre that I quite liked, some good action that, does not have shaky cam. So they did a better job of, not bringing or making the action more, comprehensible. But get into the plot of the film, the ending of Skyfall, spoiler alert, M dies, Judi Dench, her character, and she was replaced by Ray Fiennes. So he's taken over the character of M, and MI6 is crumbling under a newer, high-tech organization led by the mysterious character of C. This character C, played by Andrew Scott. And so, Bond is on his next mission, and in Mexico City, he finds an Italian hitman trying to bomb a major parade and stops him, and he finds a ring on his finger with a strange symbol on it. And he soon realizes that the symbol is showing up in different attacks all over the world, terrorist attacks. And he's trying to find out more about, the symbol and who's behind it, what kind of, the organization behind these attacks. And long story short, you find out it's Spectre. And the sort of the driving force, behind this is our villain that, we've seen before. Blofeld. Yeah, Blofeld. Here played by Christoph Waltz, who was in Inglourious Bastards and the Green, not the Green Lantern, but Green Hornet movie and some other stuff. But I don't know why I was thinking Green Lantern. But yeah, so Blofeld is behind this stuff. He's behind, he's with Spectre. And so Bond has to stop, Blofeld once again. And so that's kind of the plot here. And like I said, I'm just kind of pulling up the cast real quick. So many boxes up that I have pulled up here. A lot of stuff, a lot of tabs. But yeah, like I said, Spectre, like I said before, it is a step down from Skyfall. And I don't know, where, because they brought back Sam Mendes, were they expecting another Skyfall? And, this one, again, just fell short of expectations? Or, I look at the runtime here, and it's actually just a little bit longer than Skyfall, if I'm correct. And that's something, too, that I felt definitely could have been worked on here, with this film. The runtime definitely could have been worked on better. I think there's a lot of stuff you could have trimmed out easily. Now, I want to talk about the cast. Again, Daniel Craig, he's really good. No problems whatsoever. He's the common denominator here in these films. It's like, with Brosnan, Brosnan, to me, only did 2 really good Bond films. And although, I'm not a fan of The World Is Not Enough and, Die Another Day is bad. But at least Brosnan, he's trying. With here, again, Daniel Craig, same thing. He's really good, even though you could say the story is not as strong, or it's not, when you compare it to Skyfall, it's not that strong of a film. It's a step down. It's maybe fell short of expectations, but again, Daniel Craig, he's still good. Christoph Waltz is Blofeld. I liked his Blofeld. I thought he was a good Blofeld, and he comes more into play, I would say, between the second and third act. But when he shows up, I liked his portrayal of the character. I liked some of the scenes where Bond and this girl are at his compound, and it was like some kind of crater. I thought it was really cool. Kind of brings you back to, again, some of the classic Bond films. Some of the classic Bond films where our villain would have some kind of lair or compound. Like in You Only Live Twice. Blofeld had his lair in this inactive volcano. Here it's a crater. So I like that. Again, Ray Fiennes, he takes over the character of Vim. I thought he was fine. Although I much prefer Judi Dench. But Ray Fiennes is still a good actor. You have Monica Bellucci in the film. She was good. Again, the character of Q. Much younger Q, more, internet savvy. But I like the actor. I think he does a decent job of, playing that character. Naomie Harris as the character of Moneypenny, I thought she was fine. You have Dave Bautista. Yeah, Batista's in the film as, the sort of henchman, more of a, muscle type grunt. This character of Hinks. Now, Batista's good in the film. He doesn't have a lot to say in terms of dialogue, and I think that was fine. Like, that worked for this type of role, but one thing I can say, Batista's character got killed a little bit too early for my taste. Like, I like the fight between him and Bond on the train, but I'm like, man, you could have, saved Batista's character towards the end, and you could have had, like, the character's brought in. You think there's going to be so much more to that character. And like, okay, there's going to be a final fight at the end between, this character, Batista, Batista and Bond. You're going to get a showdown at the end of the film, and it happens right in the middle of the film. And like I said, I wish that, Batista, they would have saved that for the finale, for the climax of the film. Like I said, it was a good fight on the train, but, Batista's character gets taken out way too early in the film. Like, in the train fight, definitely, reminds you of the fight that Bond has with Jaws and The Spy Who Loved Me. So maybe you could have done something like that where, Batista is kind of like a Jaws type. Maybe, okay, his character gets thrown off the train, but maybe you could have brought that back. Like, you could have brought that character back and, again, have him be, sort of a Jaws type, where he's hard to take out. That he just keeps coming back. He's like a Jason character. He's like Jason Voorhees. But, again, Batista, he's still good. He plays a good villain, but it's unfortunate that he gets taken out way too early in the film. Like I said, you could have done more with that. Either have him be like a Jaws type where he keeps coming back, or, save that for the end of the film. You also have the character of C, who is, again, kind of this new, head of MI6, and you find out that, his character's tied to Spectre. He was fine. And you get some other characters in the like other, supporting characters in the film, like the character of Tanner. He's back here. But, the cast is really good. You get some good action here and there throughout the film. Some good action like on the train. I mentioned the train fight. The fight on the train between Bond and Batista. It was still good. It was hard-hitting. and brutal. You've got, some of the car chase in the snow. I mean, it's funny because I just watched the film, not too long ago, and I'm trying to go off of memory here, like memory. I mean, there's some good action scenes, so, but I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. I do like the stuff where, Bond breaks out of, where he's being tortured by Blofeld, and I don't know what kind of device this is, but it's some kind of needle or drill. And again, he's torturing Bond, and Bond has this watch where, his hands are behind his back, and I've just hit my desk, but his hands are behind his back, and he has a Bond watch. And long story short, the watch is thrown, and things start to go off, and explodes. Blofeld is blown back, and they break out of the compound, and you get some good gunplay there, good gunfire. So I like some of that stuff where they break out of Blofeld's facility. Some good action, and you get some decent action in the third act. And they stop Blofeld where Bond is on this boat, and it's kind of a weird scene because Blofeld's in a helicopter, Bond is in a boat, and Bond just happens to aim at the certain part on the helicopter, and he's able to shoot it down. I'm like, okay, but like they did take down Blofeld, and they take him in, and this is where you kind of see more of Blofeld's look, because Blofeld got hurt from the explosion at the compound, when Bond breaks out. So Blofeld has like a messed up eye and a scar going down. So I like that little touch. Again, it's kind of it definitely reminds you of a kind of a classic Bond villain, where you get sort of a classic look for the character. So Blofeld has that messed up eye and the scar going down. So they capture Blofeld, and that's kind of the ending of the film. But again, when the action does come up in the film, it's again, when you compare it to Quantum of Solace, it gets a little bit better. Not as shaky cam. No, it's not heavily cut. Some good action. So, and again, I think that the runtime definitely could have been trimmed down. I think there's a lot of stuff you could have easily cut out in the film that is just fluff. And I mean, I'm trying to think. It's a well shot film. The film looks good. It's a well shot movie. And again, I like some of the characters, and I mean, I don't know what else. I don't know what else to mention here, other than I would say Spectre. Again, it's a decent Bond film. Again, I liked it a little bit more than Quantum of Solace, but when I compare it to Casino Royale, to me that's a much better Bond film. Skyfall is a much better Bond film, and so when I look at the Daniel Craig era, overall, because I know there's one more coming out, it's definitely been a peak and valley, sort of, wave here. Casino Royale is really good. Quantum of Solace, again, it's more action driven. I think, a lot of the action could have been done better and not as heavily cut. Skyfall is really good, and then it dips right here. You go from a high, then it dips down with, Spectre. And like I said, I still like the film, but it's not great. I'm not going to call it a great movie. I think there's a lot here that could have been cut back or done better, or, like I said before, the Batista character, you could have saved his comeuppance for the ending, and then you could have had a big fight, a big, brutal fight between Bond and Batista. And like I said, his character gets taken out too early for my taste. So that's just a couple of nitpicks. I mean, but I still like the film. So yeah, that's my review of Spectre. And that is it for the Bond reviews. And like I said, it's been fun. I know it's been a long road of reviewing the Bond films, and it shouldn't have taken me this long to get through the films and review them. But back in December, I got a little sidetracked, watching Christmas movies and so forth, and I got distracted, watching other stuff, and I got away from the Bond reviews. So yeah, this is it. Well, we got one more video to go. One more Bond video. We're going to talk about my top 15 favorite Bond films, and that will be it. So yeah, that's it for now. Thank you for watching. Thank you for bearing with me. And like I said, stay tuned for my top 15 favorite Bond films. So stay tuned for that, and have a good day.